All right, Smackdown. Let's make this clear. We got 15 days before Royal Rumble. Most has been established. We already know this. And this adds a bit to it, but not very substantial. Make it clear, this was not that substantial. And some of it felt like they're kind of not really devoting a huge amount to it, just setting it up, but not making it really important. But I'm going to tell the truth. To me personally, everything on the show gets negated. Not because it was bad, it was because of the spot that happened. You already see the thumbnails. Well, I think I'm doing a thumbnail within a thumbnail. Because I am going to show something, I think. I'm thinking about it before I release this video, how I'm going to do the thumbnail. Because the thumbnail has to be made. I have to make the thumbnail correctly. But the spot was not good. It was a bad spot. I'm just saying it. Alright, let's open. We're supposed to have a match between Grayson Waller and Cameron Grimes. That did not happen. That match was ended because the Bloodline got pissed because of what happened last week, that Nick Aldis made it very clear. Due to the fact that the triple threat was interfered with, he said clearly, this is what you get for messing with my match, Nick Aldis. Don't mess with me. So, we get Solo and we get Jimmy basically nailing Cameron Grimes and making it very clear they're going to do whatever the hell they want. And Paulie getting into the ring, making it very clear, how dare Nick Aldis do what he did. And Nick comes to the ring. And I know I'm making it very short. There's a lot more that he said. A lot more. And I will tell you, we know Paul can pull off a promo very well. It's Paul. And making it clear that the tribal chief was being basically screwed over by Nick Aldis. That's what it all came down to. But seeing that Nick comes to the ring and says, look, this wasn't my fault. You interfered with that triple threat. This is the price you paid. It's set in stone. Deal with it. But since you want to come out here and do this, let's make this clear. Solo, Jimmy, they got a match at the end of the show. And it's going to be against AJ, LA Knight, and Randy Orton. And since this is it, this is what you're getting, you better get ready. But then Paul said, well, the bloodline is not complete because Roman's not here. And he also says, and Nick Aldis, oh yes, I know he's not here. So you better find yourself a partner for them. Or this is going to be a 3-on-2. Deal with it. And Paul tried to find some people. He did. He tried to find someone. He did go to Carlito. Didn't help him. Pretty Deadly thought about it. They thought, oh, we'll work for you. But it's a one-person show, not two. And then they changed their mind. The minute they heard it was Randy Orton in it. And then finally, he went to Bobby. In the hopes that maybe because of him being a Paul Heyman guy in a sense. Well, Paul Heyman guy. He known him. That maybe he would help him. No. So, he made it very clear, you know what? Not like an auction, but basically audition. I was about to say auction. Audition for the Bloodline's closed. It's just you two. The one that looked really the best, because I'm going to be honest here. Am I feeling Jimmy Uso? No. No yeet? Why did they do that? And I'm making it clear. Am I feeling Jimmy Uso? No. I haven't felt Jimmy for months. I don't really feel he's important. I don't really care that much about Jimmy. He's trying. He's trying to make his role important. And trying to make it good for Solo. Because this is all about Solo now. This is about Solo. This isn't about him getting over. He's already been over. This is about Solo getting over. And that little exchange where he's saying, I'm worried, and Solo say I'm not. This is about Solo. That's what this is all about. But seeing that he's now wearing a shirt that says no yeet, trying to copy Jay, instead of leaving it like that, I think they belittled Jimmy Uso. Let's make it clear. Trying to say, well, they're twins, they're doing the exact opposite of each other, they shouldn't even go there. Because I would have rather seen Jimmy Uso have something all on his own and Jay Uso all on his own. Seeing that Jay got yeet back, it should be about him. No. They're doing Jimmy doing no yeet and Jay doing yeet. It's stupid. I truly believe it's stupid because everyone's going to say, well, they're twins. They came out less than a few minutes to an hour apart. It don't matter. We're trying to get one person over and hopefully the other one. Making them a carbon copy of each other by wearing the same shirt does not help. Moving on. First match was tag match. El Toro and Wild versus Angel Garza and Alberto Carrillo. And now they're calling them, what do they call themselves? El Familia. I believe that's what they're calling themselves now. I'm fine with that. There's nothing wrong with it. Saying that these guys who come from royalty and lucha libre are now considered family, I'm fine with. And I'm not surprised they won their match. They got to win their match. There's no way LWO without Ray there is going to make any sense. So, he ain't got nothing. They didn't win. It was Angel winning over, I think, El Toro. I can't remember. I think it was El Toro. I don't think it was Wild, but I could be wrong. You guys can tell me below. But I'm not surprised. And it's fine. It's the way it's supposed to be. Now, Bayley versus Bianca Belair. To try and give a little momentum going into the Royal Rumble. I'm going to tell you this. I'm saying this right now. If Bianca does not turn heel soon, there is going to be a point where people will boo her. I know people are still cheering her, or at least they're piping in cheers for her. Either they're still cheering her, or they're piping in pops for her. But it's coming to a point that why? Bianca has been doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Dealing with damage control, dealing with Bayley, dealing with damage control, dealing with Bayley. A little bit of Io Shirai, but basically Bayley. And the rest of damage control. It is such a boring thing right now. Sooner or later, people are going to start booing her because they're going to get tired of her. It's coming. No matter what anyone says, it's coming. No matter, even if you like her. And I like Bianca. But if she doesn't start working with the Street Profits and Bobby, it's a joke. And guess what? She won. And this is supposed to lead a little bit more about Bayley not being cared about when it comes to damage control. And I know it's coming. This is more about Bayley. Understand. In my words. This is not about Bianca at all. Bianca has nothing. She's doing nothing. She's repeating the same thing over and over again just so Bayley will get over. What does that mean to Bianca? Does that mean anything about Bianca? Bianca means nothing. The only time I think Bianca's going to mean something when she goes up against one woman. One. And it's not going to be Charlotte. It's not going to be Becky. It's not going to be Bayley. Guess who it is? It's not even going to be if she goes there, a Sasha Banks eventually. It's going to be Jade Cargill. If no one says it, you're going to have a track and field star go up against an WNBA star. Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair. Both of them considered jacked beyond fuck. You're going to have this. Jade's going to be like this. And Bianca's, she's not as tall as Jade. I think she's going to be like this. Because Jade is tall. You're going to be seeing this. Face to face. Two of the most jacked women, jackedest bitches there is, are going to face one another. That is what people are going to be waiting for. At this time, Bianca's doing nothing. Let's move on. Let's go to... I'm not talking about it yet. Let's go to the last match. AJ, Orton, LA Knight versus the Bloodline. I'm doing all the matches first and then I'm doing all the stuff afterward because I'm getting to the last match. We get, let me give it to you like this. Knowing they nailed Orton in the very beginning to try and make it more fair because they couldn't find a partner for them, it was not unexpected. I'm not surprised. And I also thought, I'm sure Randy's coming back. Because even though he got the Samoan spike to the, like that, it's Randy Orton. There's no way he's going to not come back. And then they do what WWE always does. Can they coexist? LA Knight and AJ Styles. LA Knight doing his job, but AJ not totally trusting him. Because at one point during the match, and it was an alright match, you get AJ trying to reach for LA, but Solo's about to nail him from the back, and he stops him, but AJ couldn't get the tag he wanted. And once AJ managed to get away from a Jimmy Uso, guess what? He starts arguing with LA Knight saying, you weren't there when I was reaching. He said, look, I had that sucker right there. And he's talking about a Solo Sequoia. But then as Jimmy was about to get nailed, he basically avoided a AJ Styles. And then as Jimmy was about to nail AJ, he nails a LA Knight. But then with LA out for the count and AJ really beaten up again, we get Randy coming out, finishing the match. Randy wins over Jimmy again. And once that happens, what do we get? We get the beatdown of not just one, not just two, but 3 nailings on Solo, 2 nailings on Jimmy, and they do like what many people would think. They want to send a message to Roman Reigns saying that he's nothing. They just did the Shield powerbomb using LA Knight in the center of it with AJ on the left, on the right, and Orton on the left. And plowing through the announce table. That is what we got at the end of the show. Trying to make a point that Roman don't mean nothing. Now, let's talk about the remaining stuff. I'm going to tell you this about what they showed about Tyler and Butch. We know that from this talk, we're going back to Pete Dunne. Because Butch has run his course. There is no more Brawling Brutes. Sheamus isn't back yet. Either he's still injured or they just don't have anything for him. And Rich Holland's on NXT. So Butch is by himself. He ain't doing anything except with Tyler. So the way they're trying to book this is Tyler's trying to tell him, look, I've known you for years. Who is the one who told you you can be something back in Blackpool? It was him. He said you need to be able to find yourself. Who is the person that's sitting next to me? What is his name? That's what he was trying to say. That means they're going to go back to Pete Dunne. There's nothing wrong with it. It's something that many people expected. And to see that he may reboot himself back to when he was in NXT, back when it was black and gold. Some people will like it. Some people would rather see him as Butch. And many people would rather see the Brawling Brutes back together because they really liked it. But this is what we're going to get. KO show is going to be on next week because of what happened to... I don't want to see the KO show. I'm going to tell you right now. I never liked the KO show much when Kevin Owens was doing it. Doesn't mean he wasn't charismatic. I just didn't like it because we had the Miz TV. We had Jerichoholics. And then the Cutting Edge. There's so many different shows that have been on WWE over the years. And Grayson Waller hasn't done his in a while, and I'm glad he goes away, but I'd rather not see the KO show. I'd rather not. I don't want to see it ever again. But they're doing it because Logan Paul made it very clear with a big shiner right here that after getting nailed in the face with that cast, he says simply, you cheated. I went to my lawyers. It's considered a weapon. And pretty much if you try to use it at Royal Rumble, in other words, he's got to take that sucker off. If he's wearing it at Royal Rumble, there is no match. There will be a suing. So now KO says, you know what? I knew you were going to do something like this, but I understand it. But I knew you were going to do it because you're scared. But you know what? You want to bring up your grievances? Let's do a KO show next week. I'll have you on. And he can't believe that he's bringing on Logan Paul. I don't want a KO show. I don't need a KO show. I'd rather see them in front of Nick Aldis and let him make the decision. That's what I'd rather have seen. Let Nick make the decision how this is going to play with the cast. And then put a stipulation that KO can't use the cast. If he uses it any time, he loses his shot. Period. He can't hit at all. That would have been a better stipulation from a Nick Aldis than doing the KO show. I'm just telling you, that's me. I don't want to see the KO show. I just don't want to see it. But this is what we got. Let's see. The final match. Let's make this clear. A very bad botch. We got a segment because of what happened in the beginning of the show. We had Grayson Waller and Austin Fury come to the office while a Nick Aldis is trying to coax a Carmelo Hayes to join SmackDown, which I knew eventually was going to happen. He's going to go somewhere. He's going to leave NXT, so SmackDown will probably be the best place for him. But once Grayson and Austin get into the office, and they're having an attitude towards one another, and that's Melo and Grayson, he sets up his boy Austin Fury for the match. Says, I've already done my match. I'm trying to cool down, but my boy Austin would do it, and that's how we got this match. And let's make this clear. This match was all right until the final part when Carmelo Hayes is up on the top turnbuckle sitting because he got nailed up there. And you see a Austin Fury deciding to look like he wanted to do, he jumps up onto the top turn rope, sits on the rope itself, and looks like he wanted to try and do a Spanish fly with Carmelo Hayes with him. It looked like a Spanish fly, but a sitting Spanish fly. If I remember correctly, that's the name of it. Where he's sitting on the top turn rope. The guy literally is with him. He grabs him. He swings back with him. They do a full rotation. And both of them have landed flat. That did not happen. What happened, they didn't get a full rotation. By the time they already flipped back, instead of them going like this, Austin's head was straight down along with Carmelo Hayes. And I believe I managed to get that in my thumbnail. And they both got driven straight into the mat. Oh my God. Even Corey Graves this is where you can see the difference of his partner. I forgot his name. Patrick. I forgot his name. Patrick, I can't remember. I'm not really I'm not fond of him. He's not a bad commentator, but not a really good one. But he basically didn't realize what had happened. But pretty much Corey Graves figured it out very quickly. He noticed as Fitzpatrick, I can't remember his name. He just thought it was a spot. But Corey Graves, as an actual wrestler, realized that was not a spot. That was both of them driving each other's heads into the mat. It was bad. They were stunned. They could not move. And the match got waved off. It was not even a stoppage. It was just done. The match is over. Carmelo couldn't move. And Austin, who basically his head is pointing straight down on the mat where he probably got it right on the crown. And guys, remember, if you don't remember what is under that mat in that ring, it's a mat this thin and boards of wood this thick. Look how thick these boards can be. They can be about this thick, and the mat is about this thin. You think 100% these guys are protected. They're not. Even though the entire ring itself now flexes much more than it used to be because they use springs that hold the mat where it is, and it does flex. It's not enough. We're still talking about wood that could be about this thick. Look how thick that is. That is fucking thick wood that you're still landing on. Even if it gets pressed down, you're still landing on wood. And they were done. Austin, I think, took the brunt of it because I do think Carmelo managed to do enough of rotation that he got it on the back of his neck and his shoulders. But, oh man. Austin Fury took it straight to the head. Here. I think he took it straight. And that was really bad. He could not rotate Carmelo Hayes enough because he was the one who initiated. He was on the rope where I'm at. He goes back, grabs him, but he just couldn't get the rotation he wanted. And pretty much that's it. So let's hope they're both okay. I'm hoping. The most I think, if Carmelo's fine, he just hurt his shoulders and some of his neck. If I'm right, Austin Fury's got a concussion. And if he doesn't, I am so happy. But the most he may have a light concussion. I hope he doesn't have any. But that's how it looked. And this is just me. Peace. And I will be doing my Hard to Kill review. If I can see it, if there's nothing wrong with my internet, or I can't pay for it, you'll be seeing it. Peace.